Happy Saturday, guys. What's up? Welcome into another episode of the Daily Juice Podcast. It is time for the weekend. 2-1 last night. Well, 2-0, and I'm going to chalk up the bet that we're watching it right now as a loser. Let me just look in real quick to see. Oh, no, they're down by 5. Okay. Maybe we might cover that. It's getting late. I'm exhausted, so it's a winning night. We hit our first 2 bets. We may sweep the board. We may go 3-0. I'm not sure. It could be 2-1 at the worst. 3-0 is potential. New Mexico is hanging tough with San Diego State, but I am absolutely beat. I had a very long week after the Super Bowl, worked a ton, so now I just need to cool my jets a little bit and get back and get some rest. So this podcast being brought to you by omahasteaks.com, omahasteaks.com/juice, the free or the new subscription service. If you sign up for that, you get free burgers at omahasteaks.com. Plus, you get a discount on everything you buy on omahasteaks.com. The way you get on that, omahasteaks.com/juice, omahasteaks.com/juice. Check it out. Everything is backed by the 100% money back guarantee at omahasteaks.com. Okay, so I've got 3 college basketball bets, 1 UFC play, and a golf bet. Well, 3 golf bets that I'm going to give you, but really those are cash on Sunday. So it'll be something to watch for today and tomorrow. Tomorrow we'll do some Daytona 500. We'll get into some NASCAR bets tomorrow, but this will be we hit the golf bet yesterday easily. Patrick Cantlay came in and cleaned out Justin Thomas. He missed the cut. Cantlay shot 65. Huge, easy walk to the window on that one. But let's start with Vermont. We just bet Vermont at home against UNH. Now they play Maine. Vermont is laying 2 on this. DraftKings has this at -112. Vermont -2. Vermont is 7-7 on the road this year, ATS. But they are better on the road, ATS, than they were at home, and we just took them at home. And they looked very good. They won by 16 points up against UNH. That number closed at 10. We got 8. This number's 2. On the road, last time out, they beat Maryland, Baltimore County by 2. They're laying 12.5. Then they beat New Jersey Institute. Sorry, they lost as a 14-point favorite. They lost by 2. But that was a little bit of a swoon, because if you go back to against Bryant, they laid 2.5, won by 10 on the road. Against UMass Lowell, they caught 2, they won by 7. Against Binghamton, they were laying 7. They won by 20. They played Maine already at home. They laid 10. They didn't win. Sorry, they didn't cover. They won. They won by 7. Maine, on the other hand, has been pretty hot. On the road at Bryant, lost by 5. But against New Hampshire, they were catching 4 and they lost by 3. The same New Hampshire team that just got blown out by 16 points by Vermont. I'm going to go ahead and jump in here, and I'm going to take the road favorite. This is a little bit of, at least so far this year, has been sort of a losing proposition, but this is a 4-point win according to KenPom. So we get 2. KenPom says 4. I like the way Vermont's playing. They always play better late in February into March, and they start to take over America East. They're 10-1 with their only loss in conference so far this year being against New Jersey Institute of Technology by 2 points. A little bit of a shocking upset there. They're 20-6, 10-1 in conference, short number. Vermont -2 for 1.12 units. Bet number 2 that we're going to run to. The Creighton Blue Jays are at Butler. Number's 2.5. This is a difficult place to play for the Jays, all right? Indianapolis, site of the NBA All-Star Game, not going to be easy. But the Jays are 7-5 ATS on the road this year. That's much better than at home, where they're 5-8. The Jays have gone on the road against Xavier. They won the game by 7 outright. They lost to Providence, but that's because that place is a house of horrors. We called that there. Against Seton Hall, they're laying 1.5, triple overtime, but they won by 3. They got killed against UConn, but UConn's number 1 team in the country. They didn't. They came, and then they're at DePaul, laying 15.5. They won by 26. At Georgetown, laying 12.5. They won by 17. Now they did lose to Marquette back on the 30th of December, but recently the Jays have played better in buildings against teams that they should win. Now they played Butler. They were laying 10 points, and they lost by 1. It's one of the worst, if not the worst, loss at home so far this year for the Creighton Blue Jays. I don't mind a bet on the over in this game. 152, don't mind a play on the over at all. But if you noticed, I've really stayed away from totals. I haven't liked to play totals. The Jays are 4-8, 8-4 to the under on the road, 6-5-2 Butler at home to the over. Not outstanding. Jays are a better home over team. Butler's a better road over team. That's why I'm not betting it. Okay. Instead, I'm just going to lay the 2.5 points here with the Creighton Blue Jays and see if the Jays can rise up and take care of business and get revenge against the team that beat them in Omaha. This is a 1-point win for Creighton according to KenPom. So it's a little bit off, but really it's one bucket, okay? It's not a gigantic difference. It's one bucket. For the Jays, look, they're going to have to hit threes. And it's tough to do so against Butler's defense, okay? 87th in three-point defense. The Jays are 58th in three-point percentage, but they are third in two-point percentage, and they've got to use Kalkbrenner and the size in the interior. They've got to be able to use that because the size, there just really isn't a lot. Jalen Thomas is 6'10", but Ryan Kalkbrenner is 7'1", all of 7'1". He's got to use that size to go and attack the basket. Steven Ashworth has played better of late for the Jays, and Trey Alexander needs to keep playing the way he's playing and be the number one scoring option for the Creighton Blue Jays here. I think if those things happen, the Jays get the win, they get revenge. I'm going to lay the 2.5 points. Creighton Blue Jays minus 2.5 for 1.1 units. And finally, we're going to the SEC. I'll give you a lean on a game if you want in a second here too. But South Carolina's at home up against LSU. South Carolina is 9-5 ATS. We just bet South Carolina on the road at Auburn. They got killed, okay? But at home against Vanderbilt, they're laying 11.5 in their last home game. They won by 15 points. They beat but didn't cover against Ole Miss. Number closed at 3.5. They won by 3. But against Missouri, they won by 8. Kentucky, they won by 17. Georgia, they lost by 5. But Mississippi State, they won by 6. They have been very good in conference ATS, 8-4 ATS in conference. And look, I'm just not a gigantic fan of what LSU has done this year. They're 5-6 ATS on the road. They're 5-6 in conference. They lost to Florida. They played them tough on the road. Their last game, 11-point dogs, lost by 2. But that's a rivalry game. Against Tennessee, their previous road game, they lost by 20. Against Alabama, previous road game, they lost by 21. Against Georgia, they did win, but Georgia's not very good. Against Auburn, they lost by 15. LSU's been making it a habit to get blown out on the road this year. And South Carolina is a team that needs to get W's. They're 50th in KenPom. They're 21-4, but they're 50th in KenPom. This, according to KenPom, is a 6-point win. The number is 7, okay? So it's not a horrible number, but this is also like go on the road, get blown out, come back home, and take care of business. I think South Carolina will take apart LSU here after their poor showing against Auburn. Lost by 40. Bounce back spot here. Little buy low on South Carolina. I think they take care of business against LSU. South Carolina minus 7 for 1.1 units. If you want some extra college basketball, I couldn't bring myself to do it, but Auburn's laying 8.5 at home against Kentucky. Auburn is killing people at home, like we know. I mean, killing it is being nice. Like they are destroying people. Lead's now 11, by the way, for San Diego State. So that game, back and forth, 4:21 to play. So I'm still going to count it as a 2-1 night. But I mean, Auburn at home has been ridiculous. I mean, they are just ripping apart everyone. And it's been, I don't know, somewhat shocking to be quite honest, because they're so different on the road. Auburn at home. South Carolina won by 40. Alabama at home won by 18. Vanderbilt at home won by 27. Ole Miss at home won by 23. LSU at home won by 15. A&M at home won by 11. They're killing people. They're 9-4 ATS on the year, but they kill people at home. Numbers 8.5. Kentucky on the road against Vanderbilt won by 32. Against Arkansas, won by 6. They covered. Against South Carolina, they lost the game outright by 17. But they went to A&M, lost by 5. I don't know. It's a lot of points. I mean, a party wants to say take Kentucky. I think that probably the safer bet is to lay it with Auburn to keep on killing people, but I didn't know what to do with that. So I'm staying away. Officially, I'm staying away on that one. And man, Marquette is at UConn. I can't wait to watch this. This game is in Hartford. Marquette is 6-5-1 ATS on the year. They're 9-4 in conference ATS. I don't know, man. A part of me thinks that Marquette's going to pull one out here. I think Marquette may have a shot to shock the world. They were laying 14 against Butler, UConn. They won by 9. Against Providence, they were laying 13. They won by 9. Against Creighton, they killed them. Laid 6, won by 14. But against Georgetown, laid 21. They won by 13. Like, UConn isn't really covering in conference right now. I like Marquette. I like Marquette plus the points. I'm going to let this number climb. See what I can get. It's 7 right now. If I can get 7 and get 8, I like Marquette to keep the game close. I think Marquette and Hartford, Marquette might just say they've won. They've been one of the hottest teams in all of college basketball. Someone's streak has to end here tonight. That's why I'm staying away from it because boy, is it wild. Since Marquette has lost 2 times in 2024, but not since the 10th of January. UConn has not lost in 2024. Their last loss goes all the way back to the 20th of December against Seton Hall. So they're on that. But officially, Vermont -2, Creighton -2.5, South Carolina -7. Okay, to tonight. UFC main event. Let's talk about this fight. Alexander Volkanovski up against Ilia Topuria. This kid's a monster. Topuria is an absolute monster. He is even money to win this fight. Now, I think this fight goes inside the distance. So if you want to bet this inside the distance, you can. I don't hate it. And you can come up, and if that's how you want to bet it, you can do that. I just want every possible outcome because I've seen this fight too many times with Alexander Volkanovski. This guy's impossible to stop. Now, he's lost 2 out of the last 3 fights, but to the same fighter. I can easily see Volkanovski take this to the cards, and Volkanovski might win on the cards, okay? But it's an even money play. Topuria's violence, he's younger, he's 6-0, and I just think Volkanovski is slowing down. Now, he showed up to the press conference wearing a bunch of old man glasses and old man clothes because Topuria keeps on calling him an old man, saying he's done. There might be something to that. I mean, I'm not trying to be disrespectful or anything to an unbelievable Hall of Fame career for Volkanovski, and I have lost a lot of money betting against Volkanovski. I'm not going to lie. 1, my overall betting in the UFC is not great. But 2, Volkanovski's a really hard guy to bet against. He's 26-3, but he's lost to Makhachev twice. One time by decision, one time getting knocked out. I don't know. I know Josh Emmett's not the greatest of head fighters, but Topuria took him apart. I mean, Topuria has just been so violent with what he's done. He subbed Bryce Mitchell fast, got the decision against Josh Emmett, went 5 rounds there, which I think is really impressive because he may need to go 5 rounds here. I don't know if he's going to finish it. I'm not sure I would go that far, but even money just for Topuria to win the featherweight title. He's got 10 years. He's 10 years younger. There's something to be said for that. I love Alexander Volkanovski. He's a Hall of Fame fighter. Incredible warrior, but lost to Makhachev last time out. Lost to him before as well. This is for his belt, though. That was for Makhachev's belt. This is for Volkanovski's belt. Alexander the Great's incredible, but I think he loses his belt here. I'm going to go with Topuria. Even money line to win in any form or fashion. Just Topuria to win, even money. Okay, here's the golf bet. So Patrick Cantlay is -150 to win the tournament at FanDuel. In order for him to lose this tournament, he has a 5-stroke lead on a golf course that he has shot really well the last 2 years, all in the 60s. 64, 65, last year, 67s and 68s. I think he shoots 68. You could bet he's under 69.5 for the 3rd round. That's his prop. I don't mind that, okay? Even if he gets conservative and shoots a 70 tomorrow and makes everyone come to him, come after him, for him to lose this tournament, it would be really surprising. And the numbers say so. he just has to go out there and shoot 2 under and 2 under, 3 under, 3 under. He shoots 68, 68. He wins this golf tournament. Last year, John Rahm won it at 17 under. He's at 13 right now. If he goes 68, 68, that's 19 under. He'll win the tournament with 19 under. He's very comfortable on the West Coast. He's very comfortable with this golf course. He knows this golf course really well, and he can blister it, okay? Even if somebody goes and shoots like a 64 tomorrow, and Will Zalatoris has done that on this golf course in the final round last year, Will shot 64. Now he's had back surgery, so is he the same player? We don't really know. But I'm going to lay to minus 150. 1.5 units on Patrick Cantlay to win the Genesis Open, to win a unit coming back. Now, what to do with that last half unit? 2 flyers. Will Zalatoris, who I mentioned, went 64 at 30-1. Quarter unit down on that. And Scotty Scheffler at 20-1, who can do magical things on golf courses. Hasn't played well at this golf course, though. He really hasn't. It's not been that impressive. But these are sprinkles, okay? This is just, I think we're going to come back and win, 1 unit. So I'm going to hedge back a little bit. So I'd win if Cantlay wins this tournament, we win a half a unit, which is fine. I'm not looking to go too crazy on this, right? Just want to have something to watch on Sunday. We'll have golf and we'll have NASCAR to watch on Sunday, maybe a little college basketball, but giving us a sweat here. So I don't want to go too heavy, but I think Patrick Cantlay's winning this tournament. I'd be stunned if he chokes on this, given the 5-stroke lead he has heading towards the weekend. Minus 150, 1.5 units. Patrick Cantlay to win the golf tournament at 1.5 units. And then 30-1, Will Zalatoris to win the golf tournament. Scotty Scheffler, 20-1 to win the golf tournament. Just quarter unit sprinkles there on that. But if we get a 30-1 or a 20-1, not bad. Cleans up the whole weekend. Not a fine little 3 guys to watch and 3 guys to sweat it out coming up for the weekend here. And we don't have to worry about what Cantlay does. Just have him go out there and win the tournament. He wins it, we're good. Quarter unit on Will, quarter unit on Scotty Scheffler. Okay, so these are our plays for Saturday. Vermont -2, Creighton -2.5, South Carolina -7, Taporia even money to win 1 unit, Cantlay to win the tournament -150, 1.5 units for Sunday. Will Zalatoris 30-1 to win it, Scotty Scheffler 20-1 to win it. Quarter unit each on that. That's for Sunday's card. But for today, we have 4 units, a little more than 4 units in play with Vermont, Creighton, South Carolina, and Taporia to win UFC 298, the main event. My name is Matt Perrault. You guys can follow me across all socials at Sports Talk Matt every morning. Daily Juice Podcast, always being brought to you by OmahaSteaks.com.